Hi, my name is Isabella. I'll be working with you today.
Hi, I'm Gianna.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I really like your outfit. Blue's like my favorite color.
Oh, thanks. It's actually mine too.
Oh, I love it. So
Thanks.
cute.
I like yours as well.
Oh,
very
we're
classy.
like very
We're very
shade.
matchy.
Yeah, very matching today. All right. So, what brings you in here today?
I just wanted to talk a few things about my dad. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can get into that. So today we're gonna be working with like more of a CBT approach, which is like cognitive behavior therapy. So it's more of like a goal-oriented and collaborative approach, and I focus on like connecting the connection between thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and how you're behaving, or others are how you react to others' behaviors. And I'm gonna help you to offer tools to manage your thoughts and emotions, more effectively. So before we begin, though, I wanted to let you know everything we talk about is going to stay between us, but I do have to let you know if you mention anything about hurting yourself or wanting to hurt others, I do have to report it. Other than that, everything we talk about stays here. So tell me more about what's going on.
Well, I just moved back home for the summer, and I've been away, so moving back into the house has been an adjustment, and I love my dad, but he's the kind of guy that's my house, my rules, I'm the dad, you're the child type. So doing my own thing, like not going to spin early in the morning, coming home later at night because I work late, and then needing to shower before I go to bed, and I'm not getting to bed till midnight, and he's a light sleeper, so he just gets annoyed.
Okay.
And I can't, and I get annoyed with him getting annoyed at me because it's not like I can, help the situation, you know what I mean?
So does that, spark a lot of arguments between you
Yes,
guys?
absolutely, yeah. And then, again, I love him, but he's always like, you never spend time with the family, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm working. I gotta pay rent.
Right.
So.
Okay. So it's more like, how long has this been going on? Just since you got home, or has this been consistent even when you were living with him when you were a child?
So I would say once I got into college, it started.
Okay, and were you living at home?
My first 2 years, no, I was living at school, and then I moved home my last 2 years. And my last 2 years were better, but I see things a lot differently than he does, and I handle my twin brother who has special needs very differently than how he thinks he should be disciplined, and it's not, we just don't agree,
Okay, so it's kind of like a battle of, you think that, you do this, and he doesn't think you should do this, and it's like a back and forth type thing. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. And then, so say, I speak out on it, or, correct him in a way, which I try not to, but sometimes it comes out like that. Immediate shutdown, we're fighting. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the way you approach him about different things, is it any way that you approach him, he kind of just automatically comes to an argument? Or?
Yes and no. Okay, so sometimes I'll approach it hey, that doesn't really help. And he was like, well, it's the only thing that works. And I'm like, but it doesn't in the long run. And then he'll immediately switch and be combative and get mad at me and say that I'm a know-it-all and pretty much like that. So it's a lot of name calling. Know-it-all is just the beginning. So it's kind of and I try not to. I just try and go to the other room and ignore it because I've gone toe-to-toe, and it's doesn't end very well.
Okay. So, what are some ways that you deal with that when you guys do get in the arguments? You said you go in the other room. That's one way. What are some other things that do you kind of just keep quiet? Do you try to, settle the situation?
There's no settling with him, which is hard. So I'll either I, come back with something respectful, but also, makes him go silent, and then I leave, I exit, or I just ignore him and I go in the other room and I rant to my mother.
Okay.
Because my mom's kind of the mediator, so
Okay.
Yeah.
So when these arguments or disagreements happen with your father, how does that make you feel?
Honestly, I don't even know because I don't know how to describe it, but I think not numb to it, but I think I'm just so like would conditioned be the right way to say it? Conditioned, used to it that I can't even, it doesn't even faze me anymore, which is horrible, but like sometimes I'll get really like pissed off and I'll leave the house or I'll go, like I said, go upstairs or something, but a lot of the times I'm just like, it kind of goes right over the head and I rant to my mom or I rant to my little brother that gets it.
Okay. So how would you say this affects you in your daily life? How would you like this to be better?
If it affects me in my daily life, think I'm less emotional to certain things.
Okay.
I don't really know how to word this right, but I wouldn't say desensitized, but like desensitized in a way. I'm not a very emotional person unless like something deeply rooted sparks, and then yeah, I'm emotional. But other than that, it doesn't. I don't know how it would affect me in public. I think just like how I handle certain things with like, say I get into altercations with friends, I kind of just like prior, my two best friends and I stopped being friends, and I just kind of went silent.
Okay.
After that while, so I was like, went silent with them, and I haven't really talked since.
Okay.
So.
All right. So you're like when these altercations happen, like either if it's with your father, your friends, or like someone else in general, does it make you feel angry? Does it just kind of not faze you at all, and it doesn't bother you? Does it?
I'm angry, but I either show it or I don't show it, and then I go work out and work it out that way.
Okay, so you have kind of like an outlet for it.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't really deal with it head on. I just kind of like busy my mind with something else.
Okay, so you don't deal with it. You kind of just push it back and you just do something else and kind of ignore the feelings, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned prior that you were kind of like tiptoeing around your dad in a way. So would you say you're feeling kind of like an anxiety around your dad?
Absolutely, because he walks in the room and I can just like my energy changes.
Okay.
Like something, like my gut kind of just, not wrenches, but like it starts going in a wrenching motion. I can feel, like not literally, but it feels like that. And then I barely talk. And if he barely talks. So like if he's in, like this morning, I was eating breakfast and he comes in and he just looks at me and goes, "Hi." And I was like, "Oh, hi, I didn't know you were home." And he was like, "Yeah, I've been home." And then he was making breakfast and we were in the same space. Like I wasn't on my phone or anything, and that was it. Like it's a very awkward interaction.
Okay.
And it's a very awkward interaction unless like my mom is around.
Okay.
Or my brothers are around.
Okay.
But when it's just him and I, it's very awkward.
Okay. So what would you say your goals are working with me? Are you wanting to try to improve this relationship, improve how you feel? What is your goal? What is your goal?
Ultimately, my goal would be to show him like not what he's doing wrong, but what isn't right. I don't know how to word that, but like
maybe like how you're feeling, like show him how you're feeling, how he makes you feel. Is that kind of?
Yeah, but then he just resorts to saying I'm a bad dad, and it's like, you're not. It's just you're making me feel this way. Let's figure out a way to nip it in the bud. I don't.
Okay.
Know?
All right.
So I think I'm just trying to figure out how to deal with the way he does things, but also show him in a non-condescending, non-correcting way that what he's doing with disciplining John or even talking to Jake is wrong.
Okay. And John and Jake are your
brothers?
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So it sounds like you kind of want to, fix the way you and your dad interact, kind of fix that relationship a little bit. So we can work through that in future sessions.
Mhm.
How does meeting weekly sound?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to talk about today specifically? Work through today? Do you have any goals for our future sessions? Anything you want to particularly work on?
Just mainly that is my big concern
Okay.
as of right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So starting in our next session, we'll start to dive a little bit deeper into that.
Okay.
But it was good to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too. Thank you so much.
Of course.